coming in, just preparing. I can never say. Christ. What day is it? Friday? Hi everyone, it's Friday and we've got a fantastic live lined up for you all today. So what we're doing today, I don't know if you've seen the events page, everything's scheduled. We're doing presentation skills. So lots of different types. We've got wrapping, we've got fabric wraps, we've got how to create bows. If you do have anything that you want us to cover and we haven't mentioned it, don't hesitate to comment below. We'd love to hear what you want to know, or we could always make a how-to video in the future. It's great, we've got Valentine's Day and Mother's Day coming up, so brilliant time to hone in your skills and just have a try. I've got two of my lovely florists here today. You've already met Nat, but I do also have Shana with me today, and they're both going to be doing lots of different techniques. They do work very differently, so that's why I've got them both here today. So let's get started. We would love to know where you're watching from today, so if you comment below where you are. And yeah, let's get started.
Lovely.
Cheers. Right, do you want to go first now?
No, you can, yeah.
Okay.
Go for it.
So what I'm doing here, so we work very, very differently. So the bouquet style I've got at the moment is sort of more rusticy sort of, so it's not one level. Okay, so the way I'm going to wrap is where my points will all meet around the outside, so it protects the flowers that are above other levels, so you've got more protection. And then Nat, you're going to wrap yours, so yours is more, so your flowers are brought up and then around, okay?
Yeah.
So I'll start with mine, my wrap. We make our wraps completely different as well, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
So I'll show you mine first. As you can.
Put your bouquet to just one side and then they can see also how you've made it as well.
Lovely.
I'll actually try to just make one,
Yeah.
you can see as well. So I'll pull one up on the air so you can see. I've got my 4 points, okay? I'm really, really funny about how my bouquets are wrapped, so this has to be correct, alright? So you've got your 4 points. I'll just quickly make one to show you. Can they see the counter?
Yes, they
Yeah,
can see the
perfect.
counter.
So I'll do that just so you can have a little see. Cellophane dear on that side.
I've got some pink.
Do some pink.
There we go.
Thank you.
No problem.
So cellophane roll. We sell all different shades of different colours and patterns here. Got some lovely frosted ones as well, which are my favourite, which I'll be using on the bouquet. This is just a solid colour, alright, but you can incorporate tissue paper, anything to it, to give it another bit more jazz. Alright. So what I'll do is lay it out, and if you can imagine the tissue paper that we sell as well in all different colours, placed with a little border about that thick around the outside, so placed about there. So that's the sort of size you're aiming for. So you've got 3 of those. So now you've got your, that's about right, rough guess. Then you put it to the corners, alright, to make your 4 points. Like so. Okay, also I'm right-handed, so I'll put everything to the right hand corner, but if you're left-handed, you do it with left hand. Alright, and I tend to, have you got a stapler?
No, I did bring a stapler.
If you want to make sure that stays in position, but if not, just fold it, no worries. Alright, that's how I do mine. So you need 3 of those.
Save that one for later.
So that, yeah. And then you also want to do your bit of cellophane now for your bottom. So, roll the cellophane out, put it to one corner, so you make an exact square. And you've got enough to cover all your stems.
So what's this for, Shana?
This will be to the bottom, so that'll be your, we call it the bum, which then you will pull all together and then you put the water over, so that's how you make an actual hand tie. Leave me on my own.
No, you're doing really well.
Oh, thanks. I'm a
Lovely.
bit shy of these. Alright, go back to the ones that I like. This is the frosted thing.
That's quite nice, that, with the pattern on.
Yeah, and I've put pink tissue paper in it because the customers ask for all pastel shades, so it just makes it really pastel-y, as you can see. So I've got 3 of those, and they've all got 4 points. Very important to me, those.
It
Right.
has to be right.
Well, if it's wrong, it looks funny.
Yeah.
Portion, so
Perfect.
here's my bouquet. So it's a bit more wilder looking, a bit more free. So I've put loads of eucalyptus cinerea, I've got gerbras, I've got the peach avalanche, the Orangium thistle, and the Eustoma lisianthus, and also some lovely premium blonde lilies. And then we've got the Ferrari green chrysanthemum. Alright. And the gerbera's called Kinsey, in case you want to know. Alright.
Lovely mix.
So now I'm going to wrap it. So what I do, I turn mine upside down. We both do different
Yeah,
again,
totally
so you'll
different,
see when
yeah.
that does hers. I place my first piece around the time point, okay? And you want to hold that quite firmly round. Okay? Now we put the second piece. So where your gap is, where your points are, you want to put it not in the first gap, but the second gap. Alright, so just there. It really does make a lot of difference where you put them. Alright, so now try to keep a hold of it. So all around the time point, tuck in that bit. So now you've got a neater.
That's the part I find really difficult, trying to hold
Oh,
on
really?
to the
Yeah, it can be
cellophane.
hard. It's just
Yeah.
it's practice, but yeah, just try and hold on. If you can't hold on, put it down on the counter like that, just for a second, just so you can, get grip again of what you're doing.
Yep.
And then put the next bit of sellotape on.
Yep.
Put a couple of bits on if you think it's not secure enough. Sometimes you can get away with just putting one bit on. So
Okay.
it's like that. So your third bit comes in to cover this part, and then it gives more. As you can see, it's peaks on that side, but not enough here. So that's the third part, which finalises the outer packaging.
I can see now where you say you have to have it the right size and the right way to start with, otherwise it's just not going to look
But the third bit as
how you
well,
want it
can
to.
twist it round. If you think, oh, that's not the right point, this bit's sort of the last.
Lovely.
And then, so now you have all your points.
Beautiful.
But like I say, the third bit you can sort of shift around to how you want it to look really as well, if you think it's not even. So you can sort of play with it and make it right. Alright. And then as we've got it on there, because this is loose, as you can see, so you want to tie it. So either put a bit of sellotape around it, right around it, or get some string. It's green string, it also comes in natural as well, depending on what you want to use really, we use both. And just really, really tie that really tight, because you don't want it to go anywhere really, the cellophane. So if you pick that up like cellophane, you want it to stay there.
Perfect.
Also sellotape it as well, which I'm going to.
Extra security.
Definitely. Alright, so now that's secure on there and that's not going anywhere.
Do you mind just showing
Lovely.
the viewers the bit that you've just done?
Yeah, of course. So as you can see, I've put string and now sellotape to secure it.
Perfect.
Alright.
And then you'd put the bum on after that?
Yeah, I'll put the bum on now, I'll show you. And then also at this point as well, if you've got a flower that you think, oh, need to move it a little bit, you can just play with it, move the roses around, because you're not. If you take bits out, slide some bits in if you think what needs extra, you can do that now, all these are still exposed without any coverage.
Perfect.
Lovely.
Should we show Nats? Where
Yeah,
you
we'll do that
bouquet
and then we'll do the
we'll
bottom
show.
together, yeah. Of
Yeah.
course.
Perfect. You're all right, no problem. Okay, so I tend to do my cellophane slightly different. I tend to make mine as a whole. I don't have sections to mine. Mine is a solid whole. So when I'll just open it up so you can see. So it is completely
It's
together.
done in two parts, isn't it?
Two parts. So I'll open it up to see. Oh, thank you very much.
Alright.
Just so you see what I've done there. So I have two full squares. One square is as the normal square is, and then the second square I've slightly done to the side, so you get your points in the middle of the second square. So you can see there, if that makes sense. And then I've folded it in half, like so. So all your points meet, and then I've folded it in the middle again, so all the points meet, and then fold it one more time, so you end up with like that.
Perfect.
And I've done a bit of tissue like you have with
something.
yours, just inside, just to give it something a little bit different.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love the way Nat does hers. I can't do them. That's weird, isn't it?
That's strange.
And
once you've done it for so long as well, I find that it's hard to do something a bit different.
Definitely. But everyone has their own way of packaging. I think whatever you're used to and whatever you're comfortable doing.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
what you're happy with the end result, then you do it your own way, really.
Yep. So what I tend to do is I fold it in the middle and then fold it again so it's nice and together there, and then I always cut a little bit at the bottom, which will be the hole that your hand tie will go through. So don't cut too much off the bottom, because the more you cut, the bigger the hole. So the bigger the hole, the more you're going to have to bring it in, so therefore it will make it shorter. And you'll get what I mean when I show you the next part. And then I normally put it just about an inch or so below the tie point, and then you can measure just how far it's going to be at the top. And then I tend to make a nice little pattern at the top. So this time I'm going to go for a scalloped top. So just cut around the edge. A scalloped top, yeah. Technical term, obviously. Okay, and then I'm going to open it all the way up. Like so. And how I've done my tissue as well, I've done it so it's in the middle of the two bits of cellophane, so therefore when you put your water in at the end, the tissue can't get wet at all. So
no one wants wet tissue.
No one wants wet tissue.
Okay, it's not good.
And I always tie with ribbon rather than string. Again, just another personal preference really. I'm going to do it with a piece of cream actually, just so if you do see the tie point it doesn't look odd. Okay, so then the same as you, hold it upside down and I post the stems through the hole, like so. And then as I measured before, I'll bring it up as far as I measured before I cut the hole. And just ruche it all in together. And then I'll have a little look on the top just to see if it needs pulling round at all. To make sure it's nice and even, and then I'll tie with my ribbon. I hold it under my thumb and then I'll go around about 3 or 4 times, pulling as you go, just to make sure it's nice and tight. And I'll just finish that with a single knot, or a double knot actually, just to make sure it's secure. And then you end up with a sort of pleated look. So what I'll do now is just secure those as well with a little bit of sellotape. And because you've already made the pleats, you just go where they naturally fall. You don't have to manipulate it too much. And you can see as I'm sellotaping there, it brings it in nicely.
I know it's difficult now, but do you mind just like turning it so it's facing this way?
So you can see where I'm pleating, like that. So you can see the natural pleat there. So what I've done is just literally folded it over and popped a little bit of cellophane just there. When you look at it at the end, you might find that there's a little bit that's a little bit too tight. So you can just move it around a little bit. Or if you'd rather have more of a blousy look, then you sellotape a bit lower, so it's got more of a more movement at the top. Or you can sellotape it a little bit higher to give it a bit more of a structured look, really. I suppose with wrapping, it's difficult sometimes to explain because we're so used to just making things. So you can see there you've got quite even pleats all the way around, and I've done mine so the cellophane's a little bit lower than what your flowers are, just so you can see the flowers out the top.
Beautiful.
Just like that.
Just like that.
So does anyone have any preferences of which one that they prefer? Who is watching the video? If you just comment below, we'd love to hear from you. So what are we doing next, girls?
The bottoms.
Water bum, yeah? Go for it.
Do you do a single or a double on your cellophane?
Depends how much I've got in my hand tie. So I normally do a single.
Yeah, I do a single. Some people do double, just for extra security. So double cellophane basically. I just do one.
Depends what you've got in there. If
And
you've
how
got
thick your cellophane is. Sometimes
Yeah.
it's thinner cellophane, sometimes it's really thick, you don't really need it.
Yep.
So what I'm going to do now is take that big square that I cut, like I show you on the pink one, so this is an actual square, and then I'll turn it round so it's a diamond shape now on the table, and then I'll get my flowers, I lay them down, so the end of the stem is in the middle, or half in the middle even, and then I pull the rest of this cellophane over, and if you think it's not even, just pull the flowers up a little bit and then pull it round. So now what I'm going to do is pull the sides in, and I'll lift up and show you what I've done. So I've pulled the sides in, done this way, I start ruching it up with my fingers, so I'm pulling the sides in. So what you want to do is make it so you've got not a short end, because I'm going to waterfall that then. So keep pulling it tighter, not too tight, because the stems just like stick together, but you want it, you know, good tightness. Go. So you're holding it around your time point. If you're not sure that's tight enough yet, then just keep rouging it and pulling it together. Perfect.
Lovely.
Now just cut my string for me. So what I do, I always hold it with my little finger, and then I wrap it round 2-3 times, just pulling it tighter. Putting it tighter, as you can see. Lay it back down, and do 2 ends, double knot it. I also put sellotape around my string, just so if you haven't tied it as tight, at least it gives an extra security, so the bottom don't, we call it a soggy bomb, don't we? Soggy bomb, soggy bottom, so it like falls off. You want it security on there. I'll show you. I'll just wrap it round. There's my bottom.
Lovely.
Alright, and obviously if these bits are a bit flappy, you can cut them down or keep them on. Don't really see them, to be honest, when you put them in the bag. But alright, so that's my way. And then Nat, do you want to show yours?
Yeah.
I'll move this.
Lovely. Okay, so I haven't actually cut my stems yet, so I tend to leave my stems long until I put the top on, just in case sometimes if you end up cutting your cellophane a little bit too long or anything like that, sometimes it comes up a bit far. So I always cut the stems afterwards. I don't really know why. There's no real sort of hard or fast reason why I do that. I just always have. So
I think that you probably stuck in your head from like college days.
Yeah.
Once you cut your flowers, you need to put them straight into water.
Yeah.
Because if you cut them and leave them on the side, they'll seal themselves. So you really do need to cut them very last minute.
Yeah.
Just so they start drinking more. Yeah, basically, yeah. That's it.
And then another thing that I don't know where I got from, but I've always done it, is I always measure with my scissors the length of my water bubble bottom. So I do a scissors length plus a little bit more, so I'll come down to about there. So I don't know if you can see that, about a scissors and a bit more. Again, I don't really know where I got that from, but it seems to work.
Do like their hands as well,
Yeah.
like 2 hand lengths,
Yeah.
is a good size as well.
Okay, so I just cut that off.
Foreign line.
Sorry about that. And then what I tend to do as well is I hold it up like that so you can see it's nice and straight, and I cut just the centre one slightly shorter, because I always find that I always leave a centre one that's a bit too long, and then I end up with a bit of a wobble on, like so. Take the cellophane, here it is. Okay, I'll put that to one side.
Risky manoeuvre there.
Yeah. Okay, and I do the same. I make a proper square. So bring your point to one end and give it a little cut. You're fine. Us florists are used to working in small spaces, aren't we?
Indeed. Close quarters, as they say.
And then I fold mine in half, and again. And then I give it a little squeeze at the end there where the point is, so that when you open it up, you end up with, I don't know if you can see it there actually,
crease.
Sit there. Yeah, like a little star-shaped crease really there. And then I know when I put my hand tie on there, that is dead centre. So I always used to struggle when I started doing hand ties in water with putting the hand tie too far to one side and ending up with a lot this side and not a lot that side. So I've sort of just picked up the habit of doing it this way. And it just works really. Like I said, most of the time it's just trial and error. You just have to keep giving it a go, trying new things, you know, seeing what works for you really. If anybody else has got any good ideas or tips, I mean, we'd love to hear some new tips. Definitely. Or anything you do slightly different. Okay, and then I start with a corner, and then I always keep my hand tie stood upright. And I pull up to my hand in the middle, and then I slowly gather the cellophane around, holding on to that tie point so it doesn't slip down. And then I bring up the other side to meet it. And just fill in the gaps. Like so. And you can see where your tie point is there, where I've already tied with the ribbon. So I make sure my hand is right at the top there. So when I tie my next piece, again with more ribbon, I do it over the top, like so. So when you tie round, you're tying over the top of your original tie point. So therefore, if I've put a lot of water in, if you've got a bigger water bubble, the weight of the water won't be able to drag the water bum down at all, because you've got that stability of it being tied over the top.
Another thing I would say is that is a very good size water bubble. Anything smaller, it affects, if you cut your stem short, it affects the way it stands up as well.
Yeah.
So if you do it a lot shorter, then you need more water. It sort of don't really work that way. So that's a really good length of stem, and then you've got enough to put the water in for a good few days. So
yeah.
You receive it as a gift. You haven't got to check the next day and start with a little diddy one, you see.
Yeah. And then I pull all the bits out just to make sure it's all in place, and then I do another piece of ribbon which is a little bit thicker the second time, and I go round just where I did before, just to make sure it's nice and secure. And then with my little bits of cellophane that pop out at the sides there, I give them a little bit of a trim. And then I also pop a little bit of sellotape just to secure them to the top.
Help prevent the water from
Yeah.
as well, if you actually knock it over.
And that just keeps it all nice and secure. Just like that. And then, like I said before, if you do something like a large rose hand tie or something like that, if you've got a large water bubble, again, that just gives you another bit of security to stop your water bubble from falling down or slipping or anything like that,
Indeed,
really.
Yeah, I'll do that as well.
Yeah.
Especially if you've got, I've left mine quite big, I know, so like I say, you can trim them down beneath this and then sort of take them up just for that extra security.
There we go.
Beautiful.
And then we've got a couple of different examples of what you can pop your hand ties in.
Should we show you how the water
Yeah,
is?
oh yeah, that
A lot
might be a
of people
good
struggle
step.
with this part. They're like, oh, where do I put it? So let me just get a jar of water.
Lovely.
Whilst you're doing that, just to say thank you everyone for joining. It's lovely to see you all back again. We've got the lovely Sharon Fleet, we've got Stephanie, Katrina who are commenting and saying how lovely both of the bouquets are. We do have a slight preference on Shana's bouquet, but I think it's because it's slightly bigger bouquet and you've got slightly more varieties and slightly looser, isn't it? So
that's sort of what they asked for. So everyone's different to what they asked for. Someone, but it's got structured leaves and it's a little bit more younger, I think, as well.
Yeah.
So sort of, you know, to buy someone, you know, a bit younger, they want more a bit country with this one. That's why we've got the stone with all the buds. That gives it more texture.
So I think because it's just slightly bigger, it looks slightly grander, doesn't it, as well? So
definitely.
I reckon that's why there's a slight preference, but both is lovely.
So I love Nat's bouquets, I really do.
And I like your bouquets. That's typical, isn't it?
It is. Right, so
okay.
That and I'll just tape up my ends.
Lovely. So with your water, it's always best to put your hand tight on a flat surface when you fill up with water, and then you want to put it in as close to the centre as possible. So your water will only go down. There's nowhere else that it can come out of. But the more you can get it in the centre, the better. And you want to try and be careful with what flowers you're using as well. So like I've got lilies there and roses. So you want to be careful not to put any water into the petal, into the middle of the petals, or into your rose head or anything like that. So you just need to be a little bit careful of where you're pouring your water. So pop some there. And you should be able to see it filling up at the bottom. You see that coming through there? That's definitely going in there.
It's not going anywhere else.
Yeah, that's good.
Secure, very secure.
So I reckon I'll probably use the whole jug full for this one.
Yeah, I mean, you want that though. You want your flowers to be drinkable, because if you put a little diddy bum on there, you haven't got a lot of water at all for a couple of days. Oh, thank you.
Oh, thank you very much. So you can see as well, even my shorter stems are all completely covered there with water, so you know that in transportation and everything's drinking. You can always top it up when you receive it. You'll be able to have a little look and see where the water level is, and you can always top up if you want to.
Alright, so now I'm going to put mine in. I'll just close my eyes and wish for luck. Alright. So slowly but surely, try and miss near the flower heads, just because obviously water on the flower heads can make them go mouldy a little bit. So what you want to do is just try and miss that bit and just go for like a foliage stem to put chocolate into. Again, mine's got a big bottom, so there you go. I've used majority of that as well. Very heavy actually, to be fair. But at least you know then, when you plonk it down,
yeah,
there you go.
Everything's covered.
That is one thing to be aware of though, it does create quite a heavy bouquet.
Yeah.
We've done it like half, well, sort of that sort of way. So
if you were given to, say, an elderly person or someone that wouldn't have the facility to lift or anything like that, what would you suggest?
So because it's got a lot of water, just leave it for a few days, because it can last a few days because of the water amount until it gets a bit lighter. And then she can start, put a cup in over the top, just a cup of water each day if you prefer to do it each day, and then bar the flowers. So just leave them. Oh, hi, I'm here again. So
I can see it's okay.
But just leave it for a few days, just so it does, the water level do go down, and then she can just top it up daily with a cup, so then she's able to lift it then, really, or he.
So this type of bouquet, they wouldn't actually need to take it out at all?
You don't need to, no. You can do, if you're a flower lover and you want to put them into separate vases, you're welcome to. If you've ever got that time, that day when you receive it, it's good because you can just literally leave it on, on display somewhere for a couple of days. I would suggest taking them out 5 days, would you say?
Yeah, about that,
Just so you can give them a cut again and put them back into fresh water, so you can put them in a vase then. You just have them for longer then.
Yeah.
Fresh cut, and they drink more cells are open on the stem. So what I'm going to do now is put it into my hand-tied bag, even not box. I've picked a craft one. I can't talk today. Because I think it goes really nice with the colours, more natural. Okay, literally, all you do with the bag is open up and then put it in. It's really simple, really easy. And that's okay, sitting in there.
Lovely.
And to finish it, you don't necessarily have to put a bow on these bags because they're quite, pretty themselves, as they are.
They come in a range of colours, don't they?
They do come in a range of colours, so you want to incorporate, bring out the lilac or something, put lilac in there or peach also, and just get a bag that match, or green if you want to bring the green out,
Yep.
pink if you want to bring the pink out. I personally love the craft, just natural colours. And we always put a flower food and a care card and a sticker with, you know, where it's from, because, you know, you want to promote yourself. You know, you've done a good job and you want everyone to see where it's from. So we have our sticker, and we put it on the bag, we put it on the front there, just so it's lovely displayed, so they can see it. All right, and then flower food and hand tied care card. Just sellotape them together. I normally do put yours together, yeah, just so it's all in one piece. And then just drop it down there, just tucked in, so you can see it. And then it gives them instructions as well about how to take care of your hand tied as well. So if someone's not, you know, good with flowers, they've got some instructions there. All right, so that's my one. Perfect. Voila.
Beautiful.
Thanks for watching.
Okay, so I'd normally go for one of the hand tie bags because I do particularly like those, but we do offer these, which are a living vase or castle box, or I don't know if there's any other names.
Yeah, bouquet box, but they're living vases is what they're called.
Yeah,
on our website as well.
Yep. And we do these in a range of colours as well. They come in
craft as well. Obviously,
yep.
Greens, purple, lilac, red for Valentine, black. Black are really nice. We'll be doing our roses and stuff in like the black and the red and the craft, so really classy, I think.
Yeah, very classy looking, yeah.
Definitely.
So with the castle boxes, if you've never used them before, I always start with one of the sections with the large flaps on the side, and you just want to fold them in and fold that little bit back, like so. And then you bring the next one, which has got the two little tabs on, and fold those over and fold that bit back. And you want to slot it just in the side there, in the little groove. And I normally push the bit inside just so it's nice and flat. And you go all the way round. So next I'll go for the next big section and slot that bit in there, like so.
Pull nice these pink, isn't
down. It is a nice pink, yeah.
Not too pale and not too bright, it's nice.
Like so. And then I tend to put my hand tie in first. Just slot it in there. Okay, and then I'll fold the two front sections in, bring that bit up and slot your last two bits, little tabs in there like that, just like so. And then I've probably done it slightly a bit too tall for that box, I'd say.
You can do it a little bit shorter, but that's fine.
Yeah, that's actually quite sturdy in there, but you can do it a bit shorter. And again, if you're worried about your height and things like that, you can measure your hand tie against your box before you cut it. Yeah. Therefore, you get the right height, so you don't have to worry about it being too high for your box or anything like that. Okay, and then I'm going to put a nice bow on the front, which I've gone. This is Radiant Claret.
Oh, nice.
This colour. I thought that might matching because my roses have got a nice sort of cerise tone to them, so I thought that might look quite nice on there. And then I'm just going to make a figure of 8 bow. You can do a chocolate box bow on these. You could do a figure of 8, or you can do
Hessian, raffia. Like, you can do all sorts really. You can use organza.
Yeah.
You wouldn't necessarily use satin just because it does get floppy. It hasn't got like an edge. But organza's obviously got a white edge. So some of the Hessians are a bit more
quite easy
stronger.
to manipulate then, aren't they? You can make a proper
and raffia's
solid
really popular.
bow. Oh yeah, raffia, yeah.
Loads of people ask raffia lately, and also you can get that in like olive green, apple, which is nicer colours as well.
Yeah.
You also get red, purple, pink. But yeah, my favourite ones are more the greens, natural.
You like your greens and natural colours, don't you?
I do.
Okay, so I'm just going to make a simple figure of 8 bow. So the way your ribbon comes off your roll, it has a natural curve to it anyway. So I always start with the natural curve, and I just bring the two sides across one another like that. And you can see, like I say, it's got the natural curve, so I bring that bit back the other side to make the bow that side. And then I'll do another bow and go behind to make another loop. So, and then this one I'll come across the front because I want it to be in the front, because I do 2 little tiny loops in the front there, so I want it to be at the front. And then this time I'm going back on itself this time to make a tiny little loop at the front, and then back the other way. Again, these sort of things take a lot of practice.
Yeah, they are a bit fiddly, and obviously you have to twist your wrist
Yeah.
around and all that jazz. But yeah, you get used to it, and then after practicing, you'll be a pro at it. So.
Exactly. Once you've made 1,000, you'll be fine. And then you give it a little squidge in the middle, just ruche it together. And I normally pull out my bow, pull out the sides.
We've got Katrina saying you should do a full bow, making one. I'm rubbish at bows.
Okay, yeah, so when she says full bow, does she mean like a chocolate box bow? So that's a real pom-pommy full bow, yeah?
A proper bow, yeah.
It could be. What? Can you comment below, Katrina, just to...
The trick that we also do pull bows, which are the the chocolate box bow. They're sort of cheap, so you don't have to make them, but it's really good. We sell them in 50mm and 30s. They come in packs of 20 and with all different colours, so they're really easy to assemble if you don't want to fiddle around making them. They're all on the website, so all poly ribbons, which is the rollers of ribbon, and then there's the pull bows, the hand tie boxes, the cellophanes, all the accessories. They're all on the website, so all the colours in there as well, and all the accessories. They're in the accessories.
That's a section,
section. Sorry.
Yeah, it's like a header at the top.
I'm a florist.
You just make the stuff.
But yeah, that's all there, and it's all really well labelled on the website, so it's really easy. People like myself who don't really like computers, it's really easy to order on. Thank God for me, really.
Right, I've just tied that on there with a little bit of ribbon.
Really?
And just pop that on the front.
We also sell like butterflies and things like that, which look really pretty if the person you give it to loves butterflies, or if they had butterflies in their wedding theme or something like that, and you give them anniversary flowers. Really nice to pop a little butterfly in there just to remind them of their happy day, really. So, and again, we have all them in different colours. Yeah, I think that's a nice little touch. Adding stuff like that.
We do really lovely balloons as well for Valentine's, don't we, on the sticks that you can pop in the top there. They're really nice.
Yeah,
I like those.
They're little balloons. They're not massive. They're like little ones, so you can pop them into an arrangement. Only have them for Valentine's, don't we?
Yeah, I love your balloons. I think they're quite nice. A little touch, something a little bit different.
Yeah.
So you don't just have to have your flowers. You can have little extras.
Little red picks. They're really nice.
Yeah, the heart picks.
Wooden ones. Yeah, they're nice. They're very nice. They'll be on there as well.
Always good to have a little extra. Yeah. I'll just pop that on the side there.
Pretty.
So did you want us to make a chocolate box bow as well?
Yeah, I just think if anyone's got any suggestions as we go down, so if you just start making a chocolate box, but if anyone's got any suggestions that they want to see, mainly bows and things like that, but then we can, because we've got everything here, literally. So if anyone's got any suggestions that they want, just comment in the box, and then we can see if we can potentially make one up for you. So yeah, start with the chocolate box.
Yeah. Okay, so this one's slightly different. Again, I work with the same principles I did with the other ribbon. Work with the curve rather than against the curve, and then I tend to pop that bit in the middle. So you make like a little loop there, and then go back on yourself, just like that. So you end up with it in the centre. So it needs to be further than the centre, so it holds the middle. And then you can make the loops as big as you need them to how big you want your bow. So however long you bring them out either side, that is the circumference of your bow, really, isn't it?
Indeed, yeah.
I haven't made one of these for a while.
I haven't either. It's not something that we use a lot in our everyday floristry, but we do them, and like I say, the pull bows are really easy.
Yeah.
Literally, you just pull them, and they come to that pom-pom shape. Obviously, if you want to see one, I'll be more than happy to go and get one, and then we can demonstrate it as in pulling them. Because a lot of people get a bit scared about pulling the ends, don't they?
Yeah, so. And I think a lot of people as well worry about how to tie them.
Indeed,
I've had a lot of people who say, well, I pulled it, and now what do I do with it? You know, so it's quite good to know how you properly secure them. Because if you don't get the tie right...
We'll show you one after you've done that. I'll get one.
Okay. Because sometimes if you don't tie them right, they can come apart. So once you know how to do them, it's quite easy then. Okay, so I'm going to go round each loop. I don't know how the best way of showing you there is to go round to the middle and then the other side, and you want to just keep a count of how many loops you're doing either side. So far I've done 2 loops, so that will be 3 loops and 3 loops, 4 and 4, 5 and 5, 6 and 6, 7 and 7, 8 and 8.
Do you tend to do an even or an odd number on your count?
I do even.
Do you?
Yeah. No real reason for that. I just like even numbers
10 or 12?
better. 10 normally
10.
on a small bow.
Yeah.
The bigger the bow, the more I go. So.
Yeah.
But you get, when you start making them as well, I don't know about you, but you start getting used to the thickness.
Indeed,
when
yeah.
you feel like it's thick enough,
Mm-hmm.
you know when to stop then.
You have to have real sharp scissors though to go through that because
Yeah.
it's quite thick. So like the carbon blade scissors is what we use because
Yeah.
they are sharper. I do struggle with the yellow
Yeah.
scissors.
They're serrated as well, which I don't
that's
think
right. So
helps.
yeah, sort of
as
pulls
much
the
with
ribbon. So you
these.
do need sort of a carbon blade scissors. They are the best ones. They go straight through. To be
Yeah.
honest.
Okay, so once you've got to this stage, you want to fold it in half, like so. So you end up with your little bunny ears. And then at the bottom, where you folded it over, you want to make a nice sharp angled cut there, right across the side. And again, that's why we said about having a nice sharp pair of scissors, because you don't want to cut any of the ribbon or tear the ribbon at all.
Mm-hmm.
So I've done one cut that side, and I'm going to do a mirror cut the other side. But you want to leave, don't leave the middle bit too small, and don't leave it too large either, because that's quite crucial in when you pull out your bow at the end.
The mechanics of it.
Yeah, you don't want it too small, because otherwise when you pull it, it will snap. You don't want it too large, because it's harder to pull the bow out then.
It sort of don't sit right either up.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, so I'll just cut the other side. So you can see there that I've left just enough in the middle.
We've got Deborah, who asked initially about the bows, but she has to leave, unfortunately. But she said she'll see us next week, and thank you very much, ladies.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, no
Thanks for
problem.
watching.
Thank you. You can always catch up with our video and watch it
Yeah.
afterwards. If you do miss the end, you can always come back and have a little watch.
And if you could share it and like it, I'd be very, very grateful.
You could love it as well. If you
Yeah.
like. Now you can do these things. Yeah, no, share the love. Okay, so I've just got another piece of ribbon, and I've popped it just around the middle there, where I've cut the centre. And I'm just, so you want to do it again, like you can see there. You've got the raised part on one side and a flatter side on the other. So you want to do it so the middle bit that you folded is in the middle there, and then give it a nice little tie at the end. Give it a double tie, just to keep it nice and secure. And then this is the part that makes or breaks your bow, I find. So you want to start from the centre and pull out individual pieces of your bow.
So you put in the under ones or the over ones?
From the inside, so the inner ones first. And you always want to work to the centre. So you pull out and you twist. You pull out and you twist, just like that. And then you want to do all the way on one side, like so. I'll just go a bit faster. Again, it's a lot of practice once you get used to doing it. So you can see it's all come to one side. Then when you turn your bow around, so I've just done all those, you turn around like that and you do exactly the same. You pull out from the middle and you twist to one side, like so. Always go in the same direction. I find that it makes the bow come out more of a pattern. And like we said before, the more loops you do, the more you'll have on your bow, the fuller it will be. So you end up with something like that. And then what you do is you just put your finger in the end of each loop and just reposition where you'd like them to be, just so they can all be seen. Don't be afraid of pulling it out, because you've left that good bit in the middle where we cut, and that gives you enough room to be able to move it around and manipulate it slightly.
If you cut it too thin, as you're doing this part, you can rip the
centre section,
yeah.
like so, and there we go.
Beautiful.
One bow. And again, we've probably made thousands of these,
Yeah,
so
gosh,
don't look at us and think, oh well, mine didn't look like that. But after you've done 1,000, you'll be fine.
It's all practice.
Yeah.
So we've got the cheap version though, which is don't be ashamed. So everyone uses them. Right?
I do.
The pull bows. They basically mimic that design. Okay. So this is the 50mm. So that's it's the same sort of width on that one.
Yep.
We also do 30mm as well. We've got all different colours. They come in packs of 20. And we sell lots of them because that's what we're using. They're easy. You know, if you haven't got the time, you've got to do loads of other bits. They're really easy. So you pull one out.
And they're all the same as well.
Yeah,
that's the other thing. You've got to make a lot of them. At least you know they'll all be the same.
Yeah. Pick the pink pack. So you just find the end which your tails are on. So you have two ends. That one is the end that is joined. So you don't want that end.
Oh, lovely.
Oh, thanks, Laura. So this end you've got your tails. Okay, so you've got two tails. So what you then do, let's have a little look where they are. And then slowly pull them. Really, really easy. And then what will happen is they'll gather together. If one doesn't pull properly, you just undo it again and pull it again. That one just pull out. And literally, like what Tasha's done, literally just manipulating round. And the thing that people forget to do, or they get a bit stuck with, is tying it. You do need to tie it, because all we've done is pull it. So now you've got to do is just double tie it, double knot it. 1, 2, just so it doesn't slip. And then just play with it really, and that's a really easy way of getting the same sort of effect. And you also have your tails.
Yep.
And then long tails. So if you was putting that on a pew end, say, or chairs at a party or a gift, it'd be that way up, so these tails would come down. Alright.
If you had your chocolate box bow that you'd made,
yep.
Can you still get the tails, or how would you?
Yeah. So where I've tied into the centre point there, you do exactly the same thing as what we did with the main part of the ribbon. So I'll make a couple of little tails there just so you can see. So what you do is you get your length of ribbon you'd like them. You can always trim them if they're too long, and then fold it in the centre like you did with the bow, and do a couple of little cuts like you did with the other one, and then you tie it into the point where you tied before. A little tie there, like so, and then you end up with your tails.
Some people cut them to a point as well,
yep.
So they're both.
So I'll cut one like that.
So like that.
Or you can fold it in the middle.
We've always done that, haven't we? So,
yeah.
Or fold them in the middle.
And then do like so to make a little fancy tail if you'd rather have a fancy one. Or you can do, like you say, the straight ends, just like that. You could have them really long or really short.
Some people have them really long.
Yeah.
Or some people have just a normal sort of length. Just goes on preference, really.
And the bows as well that you make yourself, you can also do like two-tone bows if you want to do. You do the same principle, but you have two pieces of ribbon together. So you do the two colours at one time, make your bow like this is, and then you end up with two-tone pleats.
So you look at two different colours.
Yeah. All you just got to remember with that is you've got double the amount of ribbon, so you just have to remember it's going to be a lot thicker. Yeah. It's going to be a lot thicker when you're going to try and cut it, so they are a little bit harder to do sometimes. But again, it's just practice, just to see what you're comfortable doing. Give it a little go, really.
Perfect. Okay, is there anything else that we can show at this stage?
So we've pretty much covered bows. We can teach you about maybe organza bows.
Yeah, organza is really good. Yeah,
people use organza because it is nicer ribbon.
Yeah.
People use them for pew ends, or to make or give bouquets as well with organza.
You could do single red roses with a nice little bow. They're quite nice, a little bit more classy looking to have your chiffon bow rather than your
Yeah, definitely.
Is there any ribbon that you
ribbon.
wouldn't use to make bows for bouquets or?
It's usually satin because
Yeah.
it's a bit. It's not hasn't got a wide edge or anything. So when you're making it, there's no substance to it.
It's got a very floppy
Yeah.
look, isn't it? It
So,
doesn't
yeah,
hold the
if you can,
structure.
if you like that look,
Yeah.
by all means you can still do it. But
Yeah.
use something like with a wide edge. So an organza, most
Yeah.
of the missings have wide edge, or of a sort of a thicker material, so it sort of just is
Holds.
stays. So yeah.
Mm.
Parisa, do you want to do an organza ribbon with a figure of 8?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah,
Here's some
lovely.
organza.
Perfect.
What colour
Should
should we pick?
we use red?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, go for the
Thick
Valentine's
red.
theme.
Ooh, got thick black. So let's one of each.
Yeah,
Thick
do
and a
it.
thin.
Let's do one of each.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Valentine's colours as it is fast approaching.
It is very
Scary.
fast approaching.
Do you
Yeah.
love Valentine's though?
Yeah.
It does
it's
restore a
lovely.
faith in love.
Yeah.
Right. So you could do a thick one, Dal?
Oh yeah, I'll do a thick one.
I'll
Yeah.
move that pink one that way. Alright, so I'm using a 32mm and that's using a 70mm.
A 70. Yep.
So it's black and I've got red, as you can see. And then we've got wide edges. So you can sort of do whatever with it really. It's a bit more.
Got a bit more structure to them, isn't it?
Indeed. So doing exactly what Nat done before with the figure of 8.
Yep.
So you take your. Do you want to talk this bit through?
No,
You're better
you can.
talk through than me.
I don't
Yes.
mind.
Come on, you do it.
So yeah, the same as we did with the last one. So you decide how long you want your tail. So I tend to just with these ones they're a little bit. With the other one, you do or the whole thing with the. You say I'm good at. I can't even get my words out
You
now.
are.
So with the plasticky ribbon, the poly ribbon, you have to make the whole bow and then pinch at the end. Whereas with the organza, I tend to pinch as I go.
Yeah.
So I'll decide how long I want my little tail to be, and then I'll give it a little pinch all the way across to the other side, which gives you a little tail like that. And then you want to make your first loop.
I've done mine. Sorry.
You're all right. Like so. So you're pinching as you go, so you want to hold on to it. And then you want to make your second loop. And you come back on yourself and just pinch back into that same tie point. And you could choose whether you want to have just 2 loops like a traditional bow, or whether you want to go for more loops. Or so I'll do a couple, I think, just to give you.
Nat, do you mind doing it on the a bit further into the desk, just because you can touch one?
Okay. Do you want me to start again, or?
No, I don't. I
Okay.
think that's okay.
So you can see how far I've gone there, and then you just bring it round back on yourself again and pinch in the middle, like so. So I'll probably leave it with just 4 bows and then cut the end.
I tend to use curling ribbon for my tie, as it's thin, like a thin poly ribbon. I'll just get some to show you.
There you go.
Or this is the thin poly ribbon. Obviously it's purple, so I don't want purple, but yeah, that's sort of the thinness that you need. Thickness?
Thickness.
Thickness, I'm making up my own words. So I'm going to custom
You have a bit light, yeah, of
cream
course.
one, 'cause it's a little bit better than purple. But yeah, so you want it so it's thinner. So like I say, that's really good. If you're making a lot of bows, just get one to match the colour.
Yep. That's all those little finishing details as well, I find. So having your ribbon that match and all that sort of thing, it all makes a difference at the end. And then I'm just going across the middle, where I've been holding in the centre there, and I fold mine in the middle just to make sure that my loops are all even, like so. And I'll just turn it over and then do a double knot.
Great use of your mouth.
Yeah.
Indeed.
If we didn't have teeth or thumbs,
No, yeah, definitely.
come in very handy. So give it a good double tie. And
So
then
you can hold mine differently to you. Everyone's so different. You just get comfortable in how you want to do it.
and then you just pull out your sides.
So mine's a little bubble one. So mine's not as big as hers. Mine's a little bubble one. So the wonk. There you go.
Just like that.
Just like that.
Perfect.
You can make little baby ones as well, which are. Do you want to do it around like a little rose?
Very fiddly, but they are very pretty.
They're very,
aren't they?
Yeah.
It's just nice ribbon to use.
And I don't know about you, but sometimes as well, if I'm going to leave my bow as it is like so, I do tend to pull the wire out of the ends ever so slightly and give it a little trim, so that if you, for example, if you're going to do it on a bridal bouquet or anything like that and leave ends, you don't want any little wires poking out there.
Yeah,
so if you just
a dress or anything like that.
Yeah, so if you just pull out your wire and then cut it and then pull the ribbon back down again, the bottom isn't going to be too. That's not detrimental or anything to have the wire right at the bottom there, but you'd rather do it that way and give it a little trim, therefore you know it's not going to catch anything. Or you can alternatively fold it over. If you'd rather have like a little fold, you can fold the bottom over, just a little bit at the bottom there just to finish it so you don't have any sharp ends or anything.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah. The possibilities are endless.
There's a little bubble one that you can put around like a little rose or something like that.
That's sweet.
Regards to weddings, as in posies, putting it around, we tend to use satin nowadays. I love satin around there.
Yeah.
So that's the one that we don't use for these sort of bows, because it's a nice finish, and like you haven't got the wire then, so you haven't got to really do anything to that. And they come in all the same colours as the organza.
And I find with the satin as well, it's more of a solid colour,
Yeah, and it's
isn't
real,
it?
yeah.
So with your
You
organza,
have to wrap around
although
quite
it's
a lot of
solid,
times.
yeah, you can still see through. So when you've got green stems, if you're using a lighter colour, you're still going to see. You have, like you say, you have to wrap around that a little bit more just to get your solid colour. Whereas
satin feels nice as well.
yeah,
on the finish.
very
It's just-
soft. Yeah,
it's
it's
nice.
lovely.
I do prefer satin, and we sort of recommend that as well.
Yeah,
but organza
definitely.
by all means is lovely as well, but in that
Just what you
respect.
get used to, really.
Yeah, you don't
What
use
you
as much
prefer.
as well of the satin.
Yeah,
So-
that's true.
There's the organza bows.
Lovely.
Fantastic,
Love that.
ladies. Well, I think we draw into a close. I'll just come in, say a few bits quickly. Show my face, I suppose, while I'm here. If we just pop your bouquets to show everyone just how we finish. It's so cute.
So, yeah. Like loads of them Valentine's.
Okay, perfect. Just pop my head through here. Okay, perfect. Thank you for joining. I hope you can see me. Really lovely to have both of our florists here. So Nat and Shana, just so you know, if you've just joined. Really lovely to see you. Today, if you've just come in at the end, we've done 2 bouquets, and we've also done a bit on creating bows and things like that. So if you, we'll post it on our page, and if you just watch it back, then you'll be able to see from the start that what we've been doing. Make sure you like, love, if you've enjoyed watching the video, and also share it with all your friends and your family if you've enjoyed it today. Next week we are doing... Oh, crikey, I've forgotten.
Oh, no, me too.
We're doing an urn arrangement.
That's
so
it, yeah.
brilliant for weddings. They're really popular at the moment. And we did one the other week for a Sibton Park. So head over to our events page and you'll see that. But you'll be able to see what we've got scheduled in the next few weeks, because we've got Valentine's and we've also got Mother's Day coming up. So today it's goodbye from us. Have a lovely weekend and we will see you next week.
Thanks for watching. Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.